Strap in. We are going to slice open a jet engine, the machine that turns still air and a thin stream of fuel into enough force to lift a loaded airliner off the ground. On the tarmac it looks calm, almost asleep, hanging quietly under the wing. But inside, a small controlled hurricane is about to begin. There is no magic here, just air squeezed hard, set alight and thrown backward. Let us open it up and watch the whole storm unfold. Here it is, in cross-section. From the outside in, the smooth outer shell, called the nacelle, that you see from your window seat. Then a huge spinning fan, taller than a person. Behind it, rows of blades that squeeze the air tighter and tighter. And at the heart, a ring of fire where fuel ignites. Each layer hands its work to the next. Peel them apart, and a passenger jet engine stops being a mystery. It becomes a simple chain of 4 clear jobs. It starts with the fan. That giant set of curved blades at the front is not just for show. As it spins, it grabs an enormous gulp of air, more than 1,000 pounds of it every second at full thrust. Most of that air rushes around the outside of the engine like water parting around a stone. A smaller share gets pulled into the core, so before anything burns, the engine is simply breathing in, deep and fast and steady. Now the squeeze. The air pulled into the core meets row after row of spinning blades, each set smaller than the last. Like a crowd funneling through a narrowing hallway, the air gets packed together, harder and harder. By the end, it can be squeezed to more than 30 times the pressure outside. And here is the strange part. Squeezing air makes it hot, very hot, before a single drop of fuel is added. The engine is loading a spring made of pressure and heat. Then comes the fire. In the combustor, fuel is sprayed into that hot, dense air as a fine mist and lit. Once started, the flame never goes out in flight. It burns without stopping, a continuous roaring blaze. Temperatures climb past 2,000 degrees, hotter than the melting point of the metal around it. The gas expands violently, desperate to escape, but there is only one way out, straight backward, through the rest of the engine. That escape is where the power lives. On its way out, the screaming hot gas hits the turbine, another set of bladed wheels. The gas shoves them hard and spins them at incredible speed. Here is the clever loop. Those turbines sit on the same shaft as the fan and the compressor up front. So the exhaust, rushing out the back, reaches forward through that spinning rod and powers the very blades that squeeze the air in the first place. The engine, once lit, feeds itself. It keeps its own fire alive. Whatever energy is left after the turbine blasts out the back as a fast jet of exhaust. And this is the secret of all flight in 3 plain words. Throw mass backward, push a great river of air toward the tail, and the air pushes back on the engine just as hard, shoving the plane forward. It is the same kick you feel letting go of an inflated balloon. The engine simply does it on a giant scale, endlessly, for hours at a time. But remember that big gulp of air the fan grabbed. On a modern engine, most of it never touches the flame at all. It sweeps around the burning core in a cool, fast sleeve and joins the push out the back. This bypass air does the quiet, heavy lifting. It is why today's engines are far calmer and far more efficient than the howling jets of decades past. The roar you hear is mostly that gentle giant of moving air, not the fire. You might wonder how anything survives this. The gas in the combustor is hotter than the very blades it strikes can endure. The trick is cool air, bled from the compressor, threaded through tiny holes inside each blade. It seeps out and wraps every blade in a thin, invisible blanket of cooler air, holding the inferno just off the metal. The blades are also grown as single crystals for strength. They are some of the most carefully made objects on Earth, spinning in fire. Step back, and the wonder is the balance. Thousands of parts spin together, some turning the wrong way to cancel out twist, all threaded onto a shaft no thicker than your arm. The fan, the compressor, the turbine, locked in one relentless rhythm, tens of thousands of times a minute. Air comes in cold and quiet. It leaves hot and furious. In between, a stream of fuel is turned into pure, steady forward push, with no pistons, no stop, no pause. Just flow. Let us run the whole storm back, fast. First, the fan breathes in, swallowing a river of air. Then the compressor squeezes that air into a hot, dense charge. In the combustor, fuel meets it and lights, never going out. The blast drives the turbine, which spins the shaft and powers the front, so the engine sustains itself. And finally, the exhaust is hurled backward and the plane is thrown forward. Breathe in, squeeze, burn, spin, push. 5 steps, repeated without rest, hold a city of people in the sky. That calm machine under the wing is a controlled hurricane, breathing, squeezing, burning, and pushing, thousands of times a minute. Next time a plane climbs overhead, you will know the quiet secret. It is simply throwing air backward, beautifully, on purpose. Thanks for watching The Cutaway. If this opened something up for you, stay, and we will slice into another everyday machine and find the simple idea hiding inside the noise.